Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Turtle Network. I'm your host, the experience of some call Jason, and with me as usual is...
CDL-113, the droid you're looking for.
And the Todd Father.
And today we're going to be talking about Future State and the future of DC Comics. For those of you that don't know, Future State is a 2-month event starting in January, where DC is going to show us the next generation of heroes.
AKA was originally called 5G, but when people went, I think that's a good idea. They said, we shall call it Future State and give it to you anyway because we've already got it done.
Yep. Well, they already got a lot of work done. 5G, I think, was going to be like the new status quo for an extended period.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be, I think that was just going to be DC. And the fandom went, sweet God in heaven, what the hell are you doing?
So
And they
instead,
went,
it's
"Oh."
going to be a 2-month something.
Yeah. So they went, we got 2 months worth of this shit done. Let's do it that way.
Yeah.
Now-
we'll finish before we can wrap up.
Now, I'm uncertain. Is it going to be like the company crossovers where it just pops up in all the books? Or is it going to be like its own individual miniseries? How exactly are they doing that?
Actually don't know. All I know is you're gonna get 2 months worth of it. I think it may be running concurrent with their other stuff. Cause that's the thing with DC is they're kind of all over the place right now because you got that. You had that announcement that came out about a week or so ago where they were going, okay, all our books aren't necessarily gonna be in the same continuity, so it's feeling really pre-crisis to me, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the good old days, when you pick up a book, you know what damn universe it was in until you start reading it.
Or you
Right,
pick up something like a Batman family book and you don't know which universe you're in from one story to the next.
Yep, and that was my point, because as a kid, I was a huge Batman fan, and I liked those Batman family books, and it's like, who the hell, some of, you'd have a Batman story, then you'd have Robin in college, and then you'd have Huntress, and then you like, since when did Batman have a kid? So
Here's
yeah.
the man bad as a hero. Here's the man bad as a villain.
Yeah.
I just pulled up an article and it says, beyond putting the current DC Universe comics on hold, the publisher is experimenting with the publishing format. Some of the comics being published as anthologies, which have multiple stories in one comic.
Uh-huh. So
Which is a
they've got
format that's never really worked in American comics.
No.
Even though Japan uses it extensively in manga.
Well, they have a longer attention span than the common person here in the United States does.
That's horrible. That's all the way horrible.
It might be true now. That wouldn't have been true back in like the 60s, particularly.
So not only do you hate women, you hate America.
No, I don't hate America. I just
Man, and when you put an American woman in front of him, goodness.
hate women. I hate stupid people.
So you're saying women and Americans are stupid? Okay.
No, that is not what I said. Do not behave.
Please send all of your hate mail.
No.
This week's question, should CDL 113 be melted down into slag?
Or should we just memory wipe him so we can start over?
Another good seizure and hitting my head might take care of that.
Huh, fair. There is one thing I've seen from Future State that I am kind of curious about with some of the promotional artwork that's just got like a splash of a ton of characters. Have any of the rest of you noticed that Red X is in the background of one of them pictures?
No.
Oh, neat.
Let me see, which one was it?
It's the big picture that says DC Future State that discovers
he's right
the
about
identity of the DC universe.
Yeah, he's kind of in the middle.
Right behind the new
Right behind the new Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nubian.
It's him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Neat.
Right there.
No, that's not Nubia. That's the Brazilian Wonder Woman they're introducing.
Yeah, that's the
Oh, that's the
Brazilian.
Brazilian? Okay.
Yeah. Nubia is supposed to be making a reappearance. I don't know if that's going to be in Future State or just in the coming year.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Nubia. Nubia pops up. I will read whatever the hell she's in. I'm curious about Batman just because it's John Ridley, and I tend to like John Ridley stuff.
But I noticed you've got a few Superman motif guys in this picture too.
Well, yeah, one of them is Superman because you have Jonathan running around as Superman, kind of like on Earth, and then you have Clark he's on Warworld or something. They're trying to do like Planet Hulk with Superman, which I don't know how.
Okay, that explains the chains he's wearing.
Yeah.
One of them looks like a grown-up Superboy.
You have Bruce Wayne running around as Dark Detective. So the guy that's in the Batman armor with the short sleeves, that's Bruce. So it's in some ways it's them going, well, I'm going thinking about it when it was supposed to be the new thing. They basically, okay, we're doing the next generation of heroes, but we ain't bold enough to get rid of the ones that we know sell.
We're not going to kill
So we're
Bruce off or
So
cripple him.
we're gonna come up with a bunch of dumb shit.
Yeah.
I think all of this could have easily been done and probably more successfully done. Hell, just move it to the Batman Beyond verse, where Bruce is an old man, Terry McGinnis is running around. So at least you're not incomplete. You got somebody there. You go, okay, that's somebody I recognize, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Some of this looks like it's just done to fill out check marks and shit.
Well, hell, you could have.
Well, for a temporary event, it doesn't bother me. The idea of 5G bothered me. This is like when they did DC 1 Million.
Yeah.
Except DC 1 Million it sounded like a coherent plot where I don't know if there's an overarching plot to this or if it's just, or if this is just kind of the M2, the DC's version of the old M2 stuff Marvel did.
Or hell, the Earth 2 series, because remember the whole kind of point to that was it was the next, even though it was essentially the JSA, it was still kind of the next generation of heroes because Darkseid had come and wiped out a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like one of the guys I was talking to on DeviantArt. He said, if they'd taken Bruce, Diana, Clark, and Arthur and had them, and whichever one of the current Green Lanterns is running around as the Justice League Green Lantern, set them aside and said, okay, look, these are going to be the mentors. They either had to retire because of injuries, other obligations, or whatever, but they're still around for the new batch to call up and go, hey, I'm facing so-and-so, or the new so-and-so, got any pointers, kind of thing. And
well, the trick is, I think that's pretty much how Wonder Woman's going to be in this.
Yeah.
Because she's still around.
And truthfully, the trick to that is, I mean, this sounds like it would have been a better idea. Well, like you kind of getting where it's kind of a series of books as opposed to the original thing. Oh, this is gonna be the new something. The new something that ain't gonna work. If it's a book kind of like Earth 2, where you just want to see that universe, yeah, that's cool. But the thing is, honestly, if you were gonna do something like that, you better off doing Batman Beyond or even further out, where them folks are just gone.
Yeah.
I don't need not Bruce and Bruce, or not Superman and Superman. Jump the shit out 100 years.
Or 50, whatever.
50 with some of them's lifespan. Remember that? Do a good old fashioned Star Trek: The Next Generation. Jump that motherfucker out, 100 years or so, and then run with it.
I am going to make one prediction right now, though.
What's that?
I'm predicting right now that Red X is going to be Damian Wayne.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's just going to be my guess. Since, they've already kind of grown Jonathan Kent up. And with this if this has got a little time jump to it, then that would explain, that could be them having aged Damian up.
Yeah.
close.
You gotta look at it and go, eh. I was not very excited about it at all until I saw that thing with Nubia, and I was like, oh, they finally doing something with Nubia. I may actually read that.
Yeah. The thing that has me where I may read it is where they one of the questions was like, is there a reading order? And a couple of them have a reading order, but one of the things was, do I need to read everything to understand what's going on in this run? And the answer was no. So it's like, if I just want to read the Batman stuff, it is a coherent story in and of itself. If I just want to read the Batman books or whatever, versus having to read all 57 books to know what the hell went down.
Mm-hmm. And that was another kind of unrelated to Future State. That was another announcement they had a while back that I think DC was cutting the number of books they put out.
Yeah, they are.
Like drastically cutting.
They almost have to because they did that big bloodletting a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, let's be honest, do you really need 15 Batman books? Really? Really?
You might.
You don't. You really don't.
Well, that's like when Marvel started expanding all the X books so much. It's because that was their most popular product. So it was on, to begin with at least, it was like guaranteed sales. That's why they added the adjectiveless X-Men, and then you had, X-Force and X-Factor and X whatever.
And as they did that more and more, the quality went to crap.
Yeah.
Well,
But in their defense, I will say this. With them, in the X family of books, at least you were dealing with different characters for the most part. Where the Batman books is really just Batman.
Yeah.
Batman in 15 different books.
Yeah.
It's, he may have somebody with him, but it's still Batman.
Yeah.
We're back in the 90s when you had 4 Superman books. I was clicked at Superman at that point, right after, shortly after they brought him back, or actually starting with Reign of Superman story. And I dug that because that made it basically a weekly book.
Yeah.
But they also numbered them all so you could read them all in the correct order. I mean, beyond the basic issue numbers.
Yeah.
They'd start in January, and you'd have the little Superman shield. You'd have 1 through whatever.
1 through 4.
Yeah, 52 times 4 is. So that was a neat way of doing something. But
the article I was reading on this, it says it's going to be a total of 24 books, 24 comic series that make up the Future State. And it's going to be the Batman family series, the Superman family series, and the Justice League family. So it's not like they're going to have everything, but it's going to cross over enough, at least maybe one issue here or there, since it's going to be a 2-month run.
Mm.
So you'll get to see, well, what if this happened? Whatever.
The trick is, when you go, okay, it's all the Superman stuff. That's probably 4 or 5 books there.
Yep.
Because that's going, that would include Supergirl or Power Girl if I don't know if she's got a book currently or not.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be 24 comic series, so 24 books.
And Batman, that covers every Batman book, plus any Nightwings or Robins or.
But when you say 24 books, that's not 24 issues. That's 24 series. Notice it's saying there are 24 comic series.
So you get 1 book a month, so that'd be 48 books all total.
Yep.
Which is a lot fewer than some of the runs they've had on stuff.
Damn, that's a hell of a lot of damn books.
But see, you don't have to buy all of them to keep up with the story.
And I won't. I'll buy Batman. I'll find out which Batman book John Ridley's writing, and I will buy that one fucking book. I don't care about Harley Quinn in that universe. I don't care about Robin and Batgirl and whoever the hell else they try and cram in there. I will buy the Batman book.
Yeah.
I say that. I will read the Batman book, and the rest of them, I'll watch everybody implode. Because the trick is, that's the one little secret they got right now is which black character is Batman. Batman's black. You only have a choice of like 3 or 4 people. So which one of those 4 people is it? You know,
Yeah.
it's like Reign of the Superman. Which one of these is the real Superman? None of them. You bought this book for nothing.
We just introduced 4 new characters. Well, 3 new characters and 1 old character in disguise.
Yeah. I'll read
Now,
the
I
feedback.
can't tell from the artwork. Is that a new Aqualad, or is that just the previous Aqualad?
I can't tell either.
I mean, he's got more of a Young Justice look to him with his hair color and all, but. And I've seen some issue covers with him and what looks like either a really young Starfire or Starfire's kid, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe that's the gym chick. I don't know. She's always underwater, but she's got red hair.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Could be Aquaman and Murrow's kid.
You know, you might be right there. It's the weird lighting they've got to the picture that made me think she was kind of orangish. But I think that's the way she's kind of half in and out of the light.
Yeah.
That does almost look like Calder, if Calder looked more like he does in the cartoon and not the way.
Yeah, the article I got pulled up, it says he will be mentoring Arthur Curry and Murrow's teenage daughter.
Okay. That was just me misinterpreting the art. All right.
And that is Jackson Hyde, which is Calderon, essentially. Ooh, Shazam! So nice.
You'll buy it, you'll like it.
Yeah, well,
Looks like they've got a female Lobo on the Titans.
Well, they've had a female Lobo in the Titans for a while.
Yeah. Well,
I'm curious about the Swamp Thing looking guy with the horns. There's a couple of speedster characters. One looks like she's got those running blades, like that South African Olympian that went on and murdered his girlfriend later. And then there's some people that they're small enough in the background that I can't really make out who or what they're supposed to be. I can see a Catwoman, but in the picture I'm looking at, she doesn't look any different than regular Catwoman, really. Though I wondered if she might be some kind of new take on the original Huntress.
Superman of Metropolis. Jonathan Kent.
Now, I've also seen a cover where you've got Kara as Superwoman.
Okay.
That was the name of the book, Kara Zor-El, Superwoman. It's the Superman of Metropolis. Looks like that's going to be Jonathan Kent.
Yeah.
Future State The Flash, one of the covers, looks like Wally may kill everybody.
Yeah. That's...
why not wreck the Flash that didn't suck?
Well, yeah, they've been wrecking him for a while. But...
Yeah, I know.
Looks like you're getting a Suicide Squad.
Go back to Green Lantern. Hi, John.
Yep. Kilowog. And it looks like, what was the dog one that everybody made fun of?
Ghidorah.
Yeah, looks like he's on the cover too.
Well, that just means you've got the Green Lantern Corps is going to be in it,
Like a Wonder Woman solo book?
Yeah,
not
Immortal. Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Oh, wow, that's it.
She's immortal, yet somehow she's got gray hair now?
Well,
What?
my whole thing is, you got the Immortal Hulk at Marvel. Hey, let's do the Immortal Wonder Woman.
Immortal Hulk will be wrapped up by the time that comes out, though, won't it?
Tricky as hell, you still had it. Come up with an original name.
Speaking of original names, if you want a new Batman, why do you still have Bruce running around as a costumed anything?
Because they don't have guts enough to do. That's what I was saying before. If they were gonna have guts enough to do it, jump this shit up, like 100 years or something where there ain't no Bruce. But yeah, that's kind of my point.
Ah, there it is. Superman. Worlds of War.
Yep.
Yeah.
AKA World War Hulk.
Featuring Clark Kent, Midnighter, Black Racer, and Mr. Miracle. Midnighter is an interesting addition. I wonder if that's all going to be the same story. That's going to be one of those anthology kind of somethings.
Huh.
Where it might be multiple stories.
Probably so.
Well, either that or you just have a batch of them taken to this war world for whatever purpose.
I think if it was a World War Hulk type scenario, I'd probably be more interested in seeing Apollo in it than Midnight.
But that would give you, two
Superman,
so, they might be
let's
wanting more
be
variety.
Let's be honest, you're going to have a gladiatorial match. Superman versus Midnight ain't going to last that long. Midnight has got some nice powers. He ain't taking out Superman.
No.
That match lasts all of 3 seconds.
Alright, I'm looking at a cover that I assume is a Justice League one. You got the capeless Jonathan Kent in the middle. You got the, Batman, whoever he is. The new Wonder Woman. And then you've got a red-headed woman in an Aquaman motifed outfit, which might just be his wife. And it looks like a black woman as Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad take on an alternate Green Lantern costume, though.
Is that the one that's got the weird... I'm not looking at it right now. Is that the one that's got kind of like the weird glasses thing?
Yeah, it's almost like she's just put a glow up around her eyes instead of having like the domino mask kind of thing.
Yeah, she's one of them that they've introduced not too long ago.
Okay.
And it was one of those kind of things where they went, oh, look, it's a black female Green Lantern. And I was kind of like, the Green Lanterns from Earth aren't special anymore because every other planet's got one. Earth's got, 6, 7?
I forget what they're up to.
They've got the Kid Quick in the background.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another one of the speedster characters.
So featuring Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
But
so many of these damn things got also featuring other characters that, I'm wondering how many of these are going to be anthologies.
Well, they may do them.
It's going to be in the same story. What the hell are you doing?
That's like that old Marvel book, Marvel Comics Present Wolverine.
Yeah.
Loved that one as a kid. It was out when I was first starting to mow yards and having my own money. Because it gave me the Wolverine story. Wolverine was the most popular character at the time. So, it gave me a Wolverine story, and then it would just have the miscellaneous people. Oh, well, here's a Stingray story. Here's a Werewolf by Night story. Huh, they did a story with the Collective Man. Weird.
Who the hell are the Arkham Knights?
So, that's kind of interesting.
The knockoff Batman. I'm looking at this thing here. It says Future State, the next Batman, number of issues 4. Includes number of stories per issue 3. You've got the next Batman, you've got the Outsiders, and the Arkham Knights. Batgirls, Gotham City Sirens. So then you've got Future State Harley Quinn, number of issues 2. Dark Detective, number of issues 4, also featuring the Grifters. So in each story you're going to have Dark Detective and then Grifter. Robin Eternal, number of issues 2. Catwoman, number of issues 2. Nightwing, number of issues 2. Batman Superman, number of issues 2. Superman Family, Kara Zor-El Superwoman, number of issues 2.
So it sounds like about everybody's getting 2 at least.
Yeah, Superman in Metropolis, 2 issues. Superman versus Imperious Lex, 3 issues. Superman Worlds of War, issues 2. Number of stories, 4, because you're going to have Superman Worlds of War, Midnighter, Black Racer, Mr. Miracle. Superman Wonder Woman, number of issues, 2.
So a bunch of these damn things are going to be anthologies.
Yeah. Future State House of L, 1 issue. Justice League Family, also featuring Justice League Dark, 2 issues. Each story will have the one Justice League and Justice League Dark story. Aquaman, number of issues, 2. Flash, number of issues, 2. Green Lantern, 2 issues that will feature stories of the Last Lanterns, the Book of Guy, and the Taking of Sector 123. Wonder Woman, number of issues, 2, which will have Immortal Wonder Woman and Nubia.
Oh, so that's where Nubia is going.
Yeah. Legion of Superheroes, number of issues, 2. Teen Titans, number of issues, 2. Shazam, 2 issues. Suicide Squad, also featuring Black Adam. So you'll have 2 issues, and each story will have a Suicide Squad and Black Adam story in it. Swamp Thing, number of issues, 2. Wonder Woman, Future State, 2 issues. And that'll be the one with the Brazilian Wonder Woman. That's all they had listed.
Okay. So it sounds like a lot of them are going to be, 2 issues, so 1 issue for each month of the event. Where something like Dark Detective is getting 4, I'm assuming that's probably going to be every other week.
Yeah.
If I was still collecting comics heavily, I'd probably get into this because I know it's a limited time event. And like I referenced the DC 1 million stuff that they did many moons ago. But I really got into that one. But it was a good overarching story. Where this sounds like they're intentionally not having a whole lot of, I guess, meta plot, whatever you'd call it. It's not a big overarching story. It's going to be everybody gets their individual story.
Yeah, like what it sounded like is this was going to be our thing. Oh shit. People are basically saying they hate the mere idea of this. Let's cram as much of the work as we've already done into stuff as we can to get this shit out of here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My curiosity is how many of these characters will carry over into the current thing.
Well, if they're set it into the future a little bit, then probably none. Like I referenced the Marvel M2 stuff, where you had American Dream and Spider-Girl and all that Marvel did. None of that carried over because that was a possible future.
And the thing is, with some of these, those characters are already there. Like that Green Lantern, the black female Green Lantern, she's already there. Calder Arm's already there. So, it's one of those kind of things where it's like, it would be nice if Nubia actually popped up in something other than just this, because that's a character that people have actually been asking for her for a minute.
Now, one thing I did like hearing was, since it's kind of an anthology thing, it sounds like she'll have her own story as opposed to just being a guest star.
Yeah.
But, and I'm sure, like, if for some odd reason Aquaman's daughter is popular, then she'd probably wind up popping up a little bit later.
Yeah. What I figure is this is, since 5G didn't work, so we'll do this. They'll test the waters, and if any of these characters look like they would sell or be popular, they'll find a way to blip them over to the main.
Well, the thing is, that's the whole purpose of them basically going, we may not necessarily follow continuity anymore, which means, okay, the next Batman sells, then we can sell a next Batman book that ain't got shit to do with the current Batman.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you like this? Well, we'll just pick up with issue 7.
And if they go, not all of our books are in the same continuity. That means they can keep their core universe still going and then be doing these offshoots.
Yeah. And, let's be honest. Some of them characters, hell, they go give them books whether them books sell or not.
Yeah.
Be like, nobody like us.
Well, that depends on how heavily AT&T is breathing down their necks. And for anybody that doesn't know, AT&T owns Warner Brothers, which owns DC Comics, and AT&T been cutting a lot of fat.
Yeah.
A lot of these little companies they own, if they ain't been making money, they've been, flushing them. So, they may have to concentrate more on their bottom line than any kind of, messages they want to put out.
I was about to do my Joker quote. It's not about the money. It's about sending the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, until AT&T goes, you ain't making us no money, you're gone. The trick is, by doing the offshoot stuff, you can run your core universe for the old school fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind something that's running concurrent, because hell, the trick to all of it is that I want to read, I read, and that I don't want to read, I don't read.
Well, it lets you do all the experimenting you want to do. Without mucking up your cash cows every time that you want to throw something against the wall to see if it'll stick.
Yeah.
I noticed in the main Batman book, grifters running around in there. So you keep having Wildstorm characters pop up in shit, and I keep sitting there going, why in the hell won't y'all just do an Authority book? Out of the Wildstorm universe, that's literally the only damn book.
And with the Boys TV show being popular, the Authority would catch on again.
Yeah.
The trick is you can't do an Authority book necessarily in the DC universe. It don't quite work, but
that's true, because the way they acted, the Justice League would come after them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd either kill the Justice League or the Justice League would wipe them all out. But that was a book that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Well, see, all they'd have to do is go back to this is this universe, this is this universe. Oh, they crossed over. Oh, they had an event. No biggie.
Well, you talk about liking the Authority, though. I've gone back and reread some of the Authority stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Them first couple of stories where you've got the original writer on it, yeah, those are great. When Quietly and What's-His-Face took over. Or Quietly was the artist. Who was the writer?
I know Ellis was the original writer.
Yeah, not him. It was the next guy when they changed creative teams. That's when it became they just fight knockoffs of more popular characters and slaughter them. Those stories got repetitive real quick.
Yeah.
But though I'm sure it would have with Ellis too. He does not have a lot of longevity with his writing.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things is when those came out, there was a little more shock value to them.
Mm-hmm.
When God is the enemy and God is some repugnant space turd and all that kind of shit. You sit there and go, wow, it's fucked up shit.
One thing that also hurts those kind of books, one criticism you'll get of superheroes is that they're just defenders of the status quo.
Yeah.
But if you make them more than that, like the Authority was, then it's, within a couple of years, your world doesn't look anything like the real world anymore. Like when the Authority, in the coup d'etat storyline, when the Authority took over the U.S., that world ended up getting kind of nuked out by the end of that. The original Wildstorm world had gone through basically an apocalypse by the time they wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work long term. It was literally just a book I enjoyed. I enjoyed Stormwatch and I enjoyed the Authority.
But,
because at the time it was unique.
So I guess it's safe to say that we all agree that if DC was going to insist on doing this regardless, it's probably a good idea that they're just doing it as an event as opposed to actually this being their next reboot.
Yeah. This was their next reboot. They could probably pack it on up, cut the lights out. It's not.
Mm.
It's. And let's be honest, that's one of those things where somebody needed to step in. And I doubt this just being 2 months has less to do with fandom basically going, this ain't a good idea, but somebody in a position of authority
Yeah.
finally acting like an editor or somebody that wants to make money and go, hey, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but this ain't gonna work.
Well, it's like Jason mentioned. AT&T owns Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers owns DC. AT&T probably said, if you don't start showing us a profit, we're going to start cutting stuff, and you may not like what we cut. And Warner Brothers like, ooh, we need an editor in chief. Hey.
Well, the trick is if you rip the Band-Aid off as much as Future State seems to be doing, that's gonna fuck with your movies. That's where the money is.
Yeah. And you're, especially with the Snyder cut getting ready to release, you don't want to fuck up a possible cash cow.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's finally, kind of old and teetering. Has a chance to release our dark crap.
Yeah.
All right, we probably need to go ahead and wrap up. So, bottom line, what are your last thoughts, Todd?
I'm reading 2 books. I'm reading the next Batman, and I'm reading that Wonder Woman book that's got Nubia in the backstory. The rest of it, I read about online.
All right, Danny.
Like Todd, there's only going to be a couple of the books that I check out, and I'll just wait and see. I don't want to form an opinion ahead of time, but I don't think all of it's going to stick. As far as like, if someone gets all 24 or 48 books or whatever it comes out to, I don't think the person will like everything, but there will be something in it for everybody.
Okay. Me, my only real interests in it, I want to know for sure who Red X is. That's kind of the one character that I didn't even notice it when I first time I looked at the picture, and then somebody mentioned it online. I was like, "Ooh, that is Red X." Which for a little throwaway character for one of the cartoons, it's weird that I'm that kind of jazzed about it. But
that's where you're wrong. It's Tim fucking Drake.
Hey, it could be. I'm just guessing that it's Damien because he still looks kind of teenagerish. So if you jumped ahead, Tim would be too old. But yeah, other than that, if you read the some of the Wonder Woman stuff and you tell me it's really, really good, I might go check it out. It's kind of, I guess I'm going to have to hear good reviews of it before I really go check much of it out. Like, I'm going to keep an eye out for where Red X pops up. And that's probably going to be about it for me, truthfully.
Well, to be honest, with this crew these days, though, I might actually look at it. It's actually damn near a glowing recommendation.
That's true. Well, and like I said, it being an event, it doesn't bother me. If they were trying to reboot the universe into this, it'd be like, oh, good grief, not again. But as a what if, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot.
Oh, it's Elseworlds. Okay, I'll read this.
Yeah, you're right. Elseworlds is probably the term I should use.
I know the 3 of us back in the day, I know when I was big collecting, I was getting damn near every Marvel title and damn near every DC title. And it was like, when I finally cut back and then I tapered off to just 1 or 2, nowadays to try and do an event where you have to read everything, you get even more titles and some of that stuff than I used to get, and it's like, okay, y'all.
Well, they're also $4 or $5 a book sometimes now too. I ain't paying that kind of money.
But where they've cut this down to what I would call, even if you got all of them, it's a more manageable thing because it's only 2 months that you're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's still 24. That's still 24 books a month, dude.
Yeah.
That's
versus 60 or 70s.
Shit, it's still 24 books a month.
Yeah.
Even at the height of my habit, I don't think I was quite doing it.
I probably was.
It's iffy for me, but I know I wasn't doing that for one story.
No, definitely not.
Oh, I can admit I was, because I would be following whatever event DC had and whatever event Marvel had.
See, I was always kind of funny, unless it was something, an event that was kind of caught up in the stuff that I already read. Like I'd buy an X-Men event if all I had to buy was like New Mutants or something I didn't normally read. Yeah, I'd get that.
Mm-hmm.
You come talking about hell, I got to go buy 14 because that's what eventually burned me out with Marvel is the fact that you do something and then you'd have 5 different side issues of shit that you didn't have that I didn't read that I wasn't all that interested in. But if you wanted the whole story, then you know I don't need all that.
Well, see, after I had to take a medical retirement, that's what got me. It was like I can't afford to do this anymore. So I just started, coring down to like what I really, really liked here on Marvel, what I really, really liked here on DC, and then it became one of those things of y'all keep jacking these prices up. I'm gonna have to core down even more because I can't afford this.
Yep.
That at 5. These kind of events would really, really sell if they start putting them back on newsprint and jack that price down a bit.
Well, that's getting us off on a completely different subject that
Yes.
could be a subject for another day. So anyway, that's our take on the coming future state. If anybody out there agrees with us, disagrees with us, thinks we smell, whatever, drop us a line. You can comment under the video on Facebook. You can drop us a line at thenerdattornal@gmail.com. You can visit our site and leave us a comment. Thenerdattornal.com. You can find us on Facebook. Search for the Nerd Eternal. You can find us on Twitter. Search for the Nerd Eternal. I think that's all the social medias that we need to bring up.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So anyway, that'll do us for today. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Hope you come by and watch and or listen to us next week. Again, I've been your host, the experienced some call Jason, and with me has been
And the Todd Father who smells like frankincense. I'm just putting that out there.
I think he said sales versus smells.
Yeah, smell like frankincense. No, he was saying if you think you smell some kind of crap like that. So I smell like frankincense. I hear what I want to hear. Go to hell.